distinguished dignitaries on and off the days, speakers and delegates at the conference, Shastra fraternity, special invitees. An intense cerebral activity to push ahead the frontiers of a frontier technology is awaiting its first impulse at the moment. The powerful presence of a celebrated scientist on the planet and the technology lead of the nation's science and a wide spectrum of the delegation only adding more enthusiasm to this intellectual conclave. The inaugural session of the Nano India 2015 now begins with an invocation.
Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetrim Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetrim Atmavadeva paranapi pashata Atmavadeva paranapi pashata Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata tyajata pareshvakramakramanam tyajata pareshvakramakramanam Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetrim Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetrim Janani prithvi कामदुका से जननी पृथ्वी कामदुका से जनको देवक सकल दयालु जनको देवः सकल दयालु दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनतां दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनतां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां.
May I now invite Dr. Swaminathan, the Director of the Center for Nanotechnology and Advanced Biomaterials at the Shastra University and the convener of Nano India 2015 to welcome the gathering.
Today, I have the greatest pleasure in welcoming you all to this edition of Nano India. Tanjavur is internationally known for the Inaugurated temple, or the big temple, and has been traditionally recognized as the rice bowl of South India. In the past 2 to 3 decades, another landmark that has emerged and been associated with Tanjavur is Shastra University as a temple of learning. And it is our honor, and we also see it as a recognition, to host Nano India 2015, which is the biennial conference of the Nano Mission Department of Science and Technology in this technological village. My pleasure is doubled, considering the fact that we have the country's most respected and eminent scientist and the world's most solid-state and materials chemist, who has provided matchless scientific brilliance, leadership, and motivation to many in this country, including myself, to inaugurate this conference. No words can adequately describe Professor Rao's contribution and achievements to science, both nationally and internationally. His mission to see India at the forefront of nanotechnology research has seen the creation of several nanotech laboratories across the country and the emergence of interesting scientific findings from many such attempts. The Center for Nanotechnology and Advanced Biomaterials at Shastra University is very grateful to the benevolent financial support provided by the Nano Mission of the Department of Science and Technology and for the mentorship of Professor C.N.R. We welcome you, sir, to our campus, and we also thank you for all the support you have provided and also providing us with this opportunity to host Nano India 2015. Today, the university takes pride in the presence of the Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, who until recently was the Institute Chair Professor and C.V. Seshadri Chair Professor and Coordinator of the DST Unit of Nanoscience and Center for Environmental Science and Engineering at IIT Kanpur. I, on behalf of the Shastra fraternity, welcome you to this campus. I welcome our revered Vice Chancellor, who has been the initiator of all this vibrance and culture in the campus and the scientific capability we have acquired through the physical and intellectual infrastructure. He has been the rock-solid support for this event, as always, and has been very carefully followed the events from day one. I welcome you, Professor, to this function. It is yet another scientific celebration for us at this university, and more so for the Center for Nanotechnology and Advanced Biomaterials, for this has been such a brilliant gathering of scientists. The Program Advisory Committee under the chairmanship of Professor A.K. Sood has carefully put together the plenary and invited lectures which are to be delivered by some of the best people in the field. We thank you for all your input, sir, the suggestions and the advice that you have given in planning this event, without which this would not have happened. We wholeheartedly welcome you to the inauguration. I welcome Dr. Pravi Astana, Mission Director of DST, who has been very supportive of all our initiatives. The speakers of the event are high-profile scientists who have knocked off several events off the schedule to be part of these discussions, because we understand reaching Tanjavur could be very challenging to many, and really appreciate the keenness with which all of you have accepted our invitation. I am sure that the next 2 days will be abuzz with fruitful interactions. I welcome all the delegates who have responded in good numbers. I also welcome the members of the press and the electronic media and the organizers of this event and all those who are associated with this event. Thank you.
Now invite the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shastra, Professor R. Sethuraman, to present the mementos to the dignitaries on the dais. The memento will now be presented to Professor C.N.R. Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, the Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, will now be presented with the memento. Professor A.K. Sood, the Chairman of the Program Advisory Committee of Nano India 2015, will now be presented. Dr. Pravi Astana, Director of the Department of Science and Technology, will now be presented.
Mr. C.N.R. our patron and Chairman of Nano Mission Council, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary DST, Professor R. Sethuraman, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shastra University, Dr. Astana, Nano Mission Director, participants to this conference, students, faculty and friends. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome you to this Bangalore India conference, which you, as you know, is a flagship conference of Department of Science and Technology under the Nano Mission Council. This conference alternates with EconSet, which is an international counterpart of this event, and these two conferences have become really the showcase event for the nano work being done in India and in EconSet in the world. It is very heartening to see that in the last 12 to 13 years since this program started under the chairmanship of Professor Rao, not first as a mission but as a funding mechanism in 2006, I guess, even earlier, this has really gone in a very big way to promote this nanoscience in all parts of our country. It's not only in few places, but now it's heartening to see in this book itself the papers coming from far and wide places, and the quality of the work is also improving with time. This conference program in this committee, we have been very fortunate to have the guidance of Professor Rao when we selected the speakers, and it has been a great pleasure that Professor Rao has very closely been associated with this event for the last so many events, and this speaks of his great interest and his desire to see that we all do well in coming years, and the onus is on all of us to come to the level of his high expectation in the work we do. It has been a privilege to be sharing to shape this program, and I do hope that you will enjoy this event. As you will see the program, we have 6 plenary talks, out of which 3 plenary talks will be given by the award winners, and congratulations to all the 3 award winners, which will be presented very shortly, and other 3 plenary talks will also be there. In addition, we have 24 invited talks and 200 posters. We have tried our best to have new speakers in every conference to avoid the repetitions, to avoid to see that we get really the young people also to talk in this, and you will see that the spread of the subjects is also very quite nicely balanced between all the aspects of this interdisciplinary subject. So I do hope that you will enjoy this event for 2 days, and the next 2 days will be the review committee meetings, which are also open to all of you. I want to say this on this platform because probably in the program it's not so explicit, but all of you are invited to any of these review meetings. They are open, which will also give you a feel how the people are performing under the projects. But the review committee is free to ask tough questions in presence of all of you. So that will not be compromised, but people have asked us whether it's an open program. It is an open program. It is a scientific program. You will see the progress in those review committee meetings, and I will encourage all the people, especially the young people, to attend those, because that will also give you a feeling how the projects are being run and what is the progress. So I think it is going to be very exciting for the last 2 days of the event as well. So please make sure that you are a participant in that. And I wish you all the best for all the 4 days, and I hope you will enjoy the event as much as we have in putting this program together. Thank you.
I now have the honor and pleasure of inviting the iconic materials scientist and the most celebrated scientist of the planet, and an inspiring presence here, Professor C.N.R. Rao, to address the gathering.
Professor Sood, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Sri Setiraman, Dr. Swaminathan, Ravi Rastana, my distinguished colleagues, young investigators, students, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here for Nano India. Nano India has been going on for a while. It's only in the last couple of years we have called it Nano India, actually inspired by actually the way Israelis call it Nano Israel. They do a very good job of Nano Israel, where industry, every kind of participation is there to really project what Israel does in nanoscience and technology. Nano India, I think, is a sort of a microcosm of what is happening in India. It has been a reasonable success story, and it's really nice that this targeted funding of nanoscience and technology has resulted in India being noticed in this area. You know, many of you, when you are working on a day-to-day basis, you may wonder sometimes where we belong in this world. But in the world of science, one has to be honest, there is no point exaggerating one's performance. Somebody said, you know, I'm wonderful, I'm great. You know, many people talk like that. I've seen young people go, oh, I'm doing great work. It has no meaning in science, unfortunately, unless it is with respect to a frame of reference. The frame of reference, is it only Tanjore, is it only Tamil Nadu, is it India, or is it the world? Unfortunately, in science, it has to be the world at large. There's no point saying I'm the best man in the street. Because there's a very famous story, let me give you a joke. There's a very famous writer in Canada. He wrote about this man, this proud father, said, you know, my son, what a brilliant football, he plays football beautifully. He scored 20 goals in the first half. This man had 20 goals in the first half. How did he do that? Against which school? Against Burrell Blind School, he said. So he can be very proud of that performance. There was a very famous writer, Kailasa, who used to write about this funny story. He was just like Uncle Lakshman. So we have to therefore think about that frame of reference. Just about 10 days ago, I was in Israel to give 2 lectures in Weizmann Institute. But I was telling yesterday some of my colleagues, every time I go there, of all the countries I visit, Weizmann Institute in Israel always gives me a peculiar feeling of disappointment in some respect, and another thing is hope. You can do things if you want to do it, because it's such a small country, Israel. There is a small number of people who have built institutions which are as good as the best in the world. If you go to their Technion, it is a super IIT. You go to Weizmann, it is a super research institute. I mean, you can't imagine the kind of corridors of science they have in Weizmann Institute. The quality of science that comes out, the quality of publications that come out, and amazingly, even the money they earn. In fact, I was just telling, I think yesterday, Ashutosh Sharma, their budget of about $250 million a year is their budget annually of that institute. $140 to $150 million earned by the institute out of the royalties gained by the technology they have developed. 2 of the famous drugs, I hope none of you has it, but if anybody in your family, anybody you know has multiple sclerosis, the only drug available is the drug discovered in Weizmann Institute by my friend Michael Sela, very close to him. And that alone gives them millions of dollars to profit. So it is an example of an institute, how good can it be? In fact, I keep telling you, because I am getting old, I am now 81 years old, I keep telling people, you know, there is no limit to excellence. It is a limitless ladder. You can't go on climbing and there is nothing like perfection. Well, we are now very close to this famous temple. Adi Shankaracharya also said the same thing. There is nothing like a limit of how far you can go in life in terms of higher learning and higher achievement in life. So that is true of science particularly. I do hope we will succeed in doing something more than we have done. In nanoscience at least, I think people know that India is doing well in nanoscience. I'm told in publications we are number 3 in the world. In technology, I hope we will come also. I don't want to go on giving a long lecture today. Well, sometimes, you know, as I get old, I get worried. In fact, my wife says, the trouble is you read newspapers very carefully, you see TV news, don't do that. Stop seeing TV news, stop reading newspapers, you'll be much happier man. There is some truth in that. Even, you know, things are not very encouraging. Suddenly, the day before yesterday, or 2 to 3 days ago, C.N.R. Raman came in my dream. I don't know why he came in my dream. I used to know him very, very well. He got to know me at a very young age when I was about 29 years old. I still owe him a lot. He was the first person to recognize me in this world. When I was 29 years old, I got a letter from him one day saying, I've seen your second book on infrared spectroscopy. I would like you to be someone who can write this book, should be a member of the academy in India. I want you to be a member of the academy. If you have no objection, I will see that you are elected. I'll never forget that letter. when I was 29 years old. That was how many years ago? You can see it is 52 years ago that I got that letter. Because he did get me elected. And then I got to know him very well. I used to see him in meetings. Just a few months before he died, in 1971, there was a small meeting of the Indian Academy of Sciences. Professor Sood may like to know. It was such a small meeting, very few people came. It was right in the Raman Research Institute. And he wanted me to give a lecture. I came all the way from IIT Kanpur to give that lecture. I gave a lecture on the structure of water, liquid water. And after that he said, oh, what a wonderful lecture you gave, coffee break. He was talking to me very nicely. Then he said, Professor Rao, C.N.R. had a style of talking which is very difficult to imitate. Very, very forceful, very emphatic, very clear. It is a final word. There is no discussion after that. Because he gave the final statement. The thing that bothers me at the age of 80, he was exactly my age now. He was 80 years old, 80, 81. That's why maybe I dreamt of him. I'm now 80, 81. I thought by the time I became 80, India will be one of the top countries in science, you see. Why is it is not? Why it really saddens me to see this. I'm now getting old, India is not doing well. He a way of talking. Now I am 80, I am feeling the same way. I really think we should work hard. The first problem we are facing, I don't think we, generally as Indians, we don't work hard enough. Compared to say Israelis or Japanese or somebody like that. Second, that is, as Michael Faraday said, accomplishing big things in science depends on one crucial thing. The crucial thing is not doing work. Crucial thing is picking the problem. You have to pick the right problem. So in nanoscience, I think if you pick the right problem, we can even go higher. I do hope so. Last few months, I am terribly moved by a quotation of a great musician of India. I quote him everywhere I give a lecture to check school children and so on. And actually, I didn't know that until my wife showed this to me. Great Bismillah Khan. But I used to know Bismillah Khan from my childhood, from my boyhood really, when I was a student at Benares University. When Bismillah Khan used to play his Shaina on the banks of Ganges, I used to talk to him, Khan Sahab, क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ बैठ के क्या करें? अरे भाई भगवान से प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ, उसे बजाएंगे. He would say, I'm sorry, if people speak Hindi or not, I don't know. Anyway, he used to say that in Hindi. In fact, last time I met him, just before he died, I said, hey Khan Sahab, अरे ठीक है, बैठना मुश्किल हो रहा है. Without sitting properly, you can't pray properly, you see. How can I pray? Means for him to play music for the prayer. It was extraordinary. And then, before he died, he was interviewed, and he was asked, Khan Sahab, what do you pray to God? What is it? You always keep praying. He was a very generous man. He never asked for money. He was unbelievable. You will not believe it. As a student, I used to ask him to come and play in my hostel. He would give a free lunch, that's all. Nothing. No, he never asked for 5 rupees. He was an extraordinary person. I've never seen a musician like him. And he said, what is it you pray to God? He said, oh God, as long as I live, let me be in the world of music. That is the prayer, he said. I feel like that. I personally pray to God, God keep me in the world of science as long as I want. But nowadays, I want to change, modify it for this. I really feel God make this country a great center of science. I hope you will all work together to do that.
Thank you, Professor Rao, for your brief but scintillating and inspiring speech. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us are aware of the conferment of the nation's highest honor, Bharat Ratna, on Professor C.N.R. Rao.
Professor Swaminathan, Professor Sood, and my colleague Praveer Asthana. Well, good morning, friends. It's a great delight to tell you a little bit about the Nano mission. So I was asked to introduce Nano mission in about 4 minutes. Would have been much better with some PPTs up there, but which is as well that we don't have PPTs, and I'll come right to the point and tell you about how effective Nano mission has been and what it has been doing. Of course, the success of any mission depends very greatly on the leadership
What I would do, I would announce the names and read out the citations for all the 3 people. Then I would request them to come up to the dais so that Professor Rao doesn't have to stand for a long time. Well, it's my proud privilege to announce that the National Research Award in Nanoscience and Technology of Rs 1 lakh goes to Professor Ashok Kumar Ganguly, who is the first director of the Institute of Nanoscience and Technology in Mohali. He obtained his MSc in Chemistry from Delhi University, PhD from University of Science, and did postdoctoral work at DuPont in US, Ames Laboratory, also in the United States. He has been a visiting scientist at EPFL in Lausanne in Switzerland. He joined IIT Delhi in 1995, and he is a professor there. He has supervised 16 PhD students, and currently 14 students are pursuing their PhD with him. Dr. Ganguly has published around 220 papers in refereed international journals. He is a recipient of the MRSI Medal 2006, the CRSI Bronze Medal 2007, and CRSI C.N.R. Rao National Prize in 2013. He is a fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences and the National Academy of Sciences, India. Then we have 2 Young Career Awards in Nanoscience and Technology of Rs 50,000 each. The first awardee is Dr. P.S. Anil Kumar, who is an Associate Professor at Bangalore. Professor Anil Kumar had his BSc in Physics from Kerala University, MSc Physics in Pune, and PhD in Physics from University of Pune. His research interests are in the area of spintronics, magnetic nanostructures, magnetic oxides, magnetotransporting, metallic multilayers and oxides, and spin polarized electron scattering. He has wide experience. He was the Dutch Technology Foundation, PDF, in Netherlands. He was in Germany for a long time as Alexander von Humboldt Fellow. He has 101 research papers to his credit. He is a recipient of the MRSI Medal in 2011, NASI Scopus Young Scientist Award 2010 in 2011, and MRSI Silver Jubilee Medal in 2014. And the second Young Career Award of Rs 50,000 goes to our own Professor Swaminathan from Shastra. Dr. Swaminathan received his PhD from the Department of Chemical Engineering at Drexel University in Philadelphia in USA. After that, he joined as a research associate in the Department of Orthopedic Surgery at the University of Virginia, Charlottesville, USA. Dr. Swaminathan is currently the director of the Nanotechnology Center here. His center is involved in multifaceted areas to evolve cutting-edge technologies in healthcare. His research group works on the development of novel nanostructured biomaterials for tissue engineering and in the development of smart multifunctional nanomaterials for drug delivery. Dr. Swaminathan received the Innovative Young Biotechnologist Award from the DBT in 2006 and the MRSI Medal in 2009 from the Materials Research Society of India. He has 7 US and Indian patents and over 100 publications in peer-reviewed international journals. So may I now invite Professor Ganguly to come up to the dais and receive the award, and my colleague Raghunath Reddy will. Professor Swaminathan, please. Thank you very much.